Well, on a holiday full of heart, it is fitting that Valentine's Day this year also falls on National Donor Day, which raises awareness about the importance of organ, eye, and tissue donation. And joining us today with their inspiring donor stories are Deanne Blankenship, founder of Holly's Heart Foundation, and heart transplant recipient Olivia Jones. Welcome to you both. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you both have some amazing stories. Let's start with you, Deanne, and you're here to talk about your daughter. Your daughter was Holly, and she saved a lot of lives when she became an organ donor. Tell us about her.
Holly was a very loving person, loved to help everybody. So I'm not surprised she registered to be an organ donor. And you know, through her generous gift of life, she saved 4 people. We're so proud of her. And you know, while we were at the hospital, a family, suggested that we record her heartbeat. And we have since done that. I have it in her Zebra. Holly's Heart Foundation wants to do the same for other recipient or other donor families who may not be thinking of that at the time.
That is so awesome.
That's what we do.
So you have this permanent memento.
Yes.
It's a keepsake, but it is actually a recording of her heartbeat in your stuffed animal. And so that's what other families maybe can look forward to.
That's what Holly's Heart Foundation provides.
That's very sweet. And we've also got Olivia over here. And Olivia, you are here today because you actually were the recipient of a generous organ donation. Tell us about that.
Well, when I was 6 months old, I was diagnosed with a disease called cardiomyopathy, which means I had an enlarged heart and I needed a heart transplant to survive. So I spent over 4 months at Children's National before I received my heart transplant when I was 17 months old.
You have no recollection of any of that, I'm sure, that you were way too young.
Yeah.
So what are you holding there in your hand?
I'm holding my donor Ashley's bear. Her family gifted it to me over mail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you actually got to meet Ashley's mother, right?
Yes, and her family.
Tell us about that.
Well, we got to go down to the South and meet her family, and I was so excited because her mother and my mom have been communicating for a very long time, and I knew how important it was for Ashley's mom to hear her daughter's heartbeat.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Yeah.
And you actually remember Ashley every single year. What do you do?
Every year on September 25th, I release 2 balloons, one for me and one for my donor, to commemorate her because I'm so generous her family made the decision.
Oh, I'm sure that, you know, that means a lot to her family too, that you're so thankful for the donation of the organ. That's wonderful. So right now you're a sophomore in high school, right?
Yes, I am.
How are you? How's your health today?
I'm doing well. I'm in my school's marching band.
Wow.
And I like to draw and sleep.
Who doesn't like to sleep, especially teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Do you have to do anything in relation to anti-rejection drugs or anything like that on an ongoing basis?
Yes, I have to take medicine twice a day, and every 90 days I still go to the hospital for a checkup, and then once a year I have a biopsy where they check my heart to make sure it's still going strong.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so people today are listening to your great stories, both of you, and wondering, how do you become a donor? How do you do it? What's the first step to take? Deanne, tell us about that.
You can register online at beadonor.org. And or I believe if you go to the motor vehicles, you can put it on your license. So it's just as simple as that.
And why would you? What would you say to people out there listening today? Your pitch for becoming an organ donor.
Organ donation can save, one organ donor can save 8 lives, or up to 8 lives. And as a mother who's lost her daughter, while I'd rather have Holly here, the fact that she has saved other lives and prevented somebody else from feeling the way that I feel, it's awesome.
Wow.
And I'm a living example of how organ donation is beneficial because I've been able to live my life, and I'll keep living.
Yes, and doing so well. Glad to see that. Thank you both for coming in and sharing your stories on this Valentine's Day. Appreciate that. And once again, if you are thinking about becoming a donor, check out the Holly's Heart Foundation.org or beadonor.org.